Good morning, friends and family. Rise and shine. I hope that you guys are feeling blessed and wonderful this morning. I've talked a lot in the past about promises, like knowing, reading the Word of God, and finding out what the promises are in the Word of God for your life. And I've talked about principles, the principles and the patterns in the Bible. And so, in patterns, you can find principles, and in principles, you can find promises. And a lot of times I think that we get focused on, okay, so what does God promise? What is it that He's promising, right? We get really, really hyper focused on the promises. And I was reminded of this morning, listening to a pastor, and just had all kinds of revelations. So I was really anxious to get back here and share it with you guys. But so in Exodus, so first so Moses goes in front of God and he says, God, God says, go to Pharaoh and tell him to let my people go. My people, go let my people go. And Moses is like, okay, well, who should I say is sending me? And God says, I am. And I've talked about this before, how great it is, how great of an answer, and how mysterious it is, but it's actually not that mysterious. So here's the thing. God lives in the present. He doesn't live in the past, and He doesn't live in the future. He lives in the present. Do you realize that it's impossible for us to be in the present? We can be in the presence of God, but we can't be in a present moment. You know why? The moment that I was just in is already gone. When I say now, now is gone as soon as I say now. Like, it's already in the past. Just a moment ago when I said now, it is in the past. Everything that we do is either in the future or the past, because time is passing by. See, we're constricted by time. In the kingdom, there is no time. There's only present. So God lives outside of time, and that's what it means to live outside of time, is to be present always. There is no future. There is no past. There's just present. And for us, there is no present. There's just future and there's just past. And so I bring that up to bring you to this. So, which that's a mind bender, right? So think about it this way too. I want you to think about this. So Moses has seen the miracle of God, right? He has been leading these people, millions of people. And God says, take the people, take the people, not my people. He says, take the people and go into the land that I promised you. Start heading that way. And Moses is like, wait, the people? Don't you mean your people? God, I'm not going to the land of milk and honey without you. Because God says, take the people and go into the land that I have promised you, but I am not going to be with you because they are stiff-necked people. So God was prepared to give him his promise and give the people the promise that he made, because God cannot lie. He promised them something, and so he was going to deliver it to them. But he said, I'm not going to go because those people are stiff-necked. In other words, hard-headed, hard-hearted. They keep forgetting who it is that's delivered them. And Moses says something crazy. He's like, God, I'm not going without you. I'm not going without you. Because Moses recognized his need and his desire was for the presence of God. Not the power of God, not the promises of God, the presence of God. Like, if we aren't focused on being in the presence of God, the promises of God don't matter. The power of God doesn't matter if you're not in the presence of God. It's in his presence that is the fullness of joy. So if we're hyper focused on promise, and I apologize because I have said that. I've been like, listen, read the Word of God. See what the Word of God promises you. And I've failed. I've failed to make his presence as important as his promises, because I was just hyper focused on getting people to get out of their own way. Like, You have to set aside the things that you see. You have to set aside your circumstances. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in and of our lives, never mind the man in the mirror, that blocks us from getting in the presence of God. Like, that should be the main thing. Being in the presence of God is the fullness of joy. It's much better to be in the presence of God than have the promise of God without the presence of God. The promises of God are only enjoyable if you're in the presence of God. And so I just want to encourage you. I'm encouraged to be more like Moses, like I'm seeking the presence of God. And then if whatever the promises are is what the promises are. I hope that this encourages you guys. I hope that you understand what I'm saying. I hope that you get a revelation. I hope you just had a light bulb moment. I hope that the Lord is speaking to your heart right now. I love you guys. I want the best for you guys. Exodus 33, read it. Exodus 33, 1 through 3, and then 13 through 16, I believe. Just read Exodus 1 through 30, chapter 33, 1 through 16, and you'll get it. So I love you guys. I hope that you're blessed. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.